Hello, friends. Welcome to Monday Movie Night with Tam. We're here in my living room as usual. VTB shirt on. Shout out to VTB, Mikey, all the boys. And today we have a South by Southwest exclusive, and it is a short film called Them That's Not. It's directed by the lovely Mekhai Lee, and I was very excited to screen this film. As I told you, since I went to Sundance, I'm like the film girl about town, and I'm on a bunch of PR lists to get screeners like this. So I'm super excited that this screener actually had some resonance with me, and I felt it. So let's get into a small synopsis. The thing about the movies that y'all can't see, because I don't know if this will be made available to the public, it's like, am I giving spoilers? Do I give spoilers? Do I keep it light? You can't even see it, so I can't spoil it for you. So we're gonna go in. As I said, director Mekhai Lee. The film starts out with a young woman, and it's clearly given they, them. Okay, she got the lineup, she got the braids, but we can still tell it's a girl because it's like the feminine facial features. But I respect people in their pronouns, what they want to be called. If you're giving us boy, I'm going to say he. If you're giving us girl, I'm going to say she. But if you're giving us androgyny, I'm going to say them. So they were at the front door, and they were knocking. It's like a nice brownstone apartment, kind of stereotypical New York, could be Chicago, but I'm going with New York for this one vibe, right? So she's knocking at the door, or she pressed the Ring doorbell alarm. Then there's a small congregation of people at the bottom of the brownstone steps, and they're all black people. So it's like, you kind of don't know what's going on, but they're all dressed in black and they had grocery bags. So I assumed that it was going to be a repass, right? So then one of the ladies from the group, because they're like kind of at the bottom of the steps looking confused, one of the ladies from the group comes up and like gets in the way. And then that's when we find out that our main character, Drea, is deaf or partially deaf, right? Because she has the hearing aids in. And then she's saying too, and I'm assuming like these are her relatives, these are her aunties, right? Because everybody dressed the same and they're like, they have a certain rapport with one another. So she's saying, oh, and she could read lips too. So it's like, okay, yeah, she is deaf. That's when we find out our main character is deaf, which is also why she didn't hear all them people down at the bottom of the brownstone steps yipping and yapping. So then we go inside. As I assumed, because I'm very knowledgeable in the ways of Black American culture, this was definitely a repass. So they're getting everything ready. And she's deaf, but she can kind of hear. So the way that they play with that throughout the short film is very interesting. I have never seen or heard that done before, but I think it's great because deaf people aren't very represented in the movie and film space. I think I've only ever seen one other film with the main character was deaf, and it was like a Netflix thing. It did not get a wide theatrical release. So like, what's going on? Deaf people are people too. I have like aunts, cousins that are deaf, and they be getting into the same type of shenanigans as regular people. If not, sometimes more, because of the hearing impairment and how that like impedes situations and how they get into the little hijinks and stuff with other people. So creatives, let's do more representation with the deaf population of America, the sign language population. Let's get into that. When she like, okay, because obviously the aunties they're going to be busy, and when you know to stay out their way. So she goes into another room of the brownstone. It's a family home. It's giving family home vibe. She goes into another room and her aunt comes in, and I was annoyed by it, and I'm not deaf, but she was trying to talk to her. And as she told us at the beginning of the film, like, oh, she can read lips, but she kept turning that head. And it's like, girl, how am I gonna read your lips if you keep moving around? You yelling to the side and you're like, hey, Andre, stop doing that. Shell, yeah, when I was talking to you, like, you need to look at me. And I'm not the best. You could ask my, hearing impaired relative. I'm not the best when it comes to that either, because I speak very fast. But at least I have learned that I need to face you if you're going to read my lips. Let's get serious here. So, ill auntie, but she was trying a little bit. So, she's trying to talk to her, and then she gives her a urn. And I didn't know. Like, if you weren't sure what was going on before, you definitely know now it was a repass. She tries to present her with the urn, and she starts crying a little bit, because obviously who wouldn't? And we're still confused at this moment, like who the person in the urn may or may not be. But then we get a special guest that comes, and he comes from jail. And then the family started gossiping about him. He was wearing like a Dickies jumpsuit type of thing. And y'all can let me know the politics in the comments, because I have had a relative come to a funeral from jail, but I swear he had on a suit. So I don't know if that was our doing or the jail's doing, but the fact that he was in there in a Dickies suit and everybody else was wearing all black, it did like make him stand out. And he's already standing out because he's here from jail. Everybody gossiping about him. The least we could have done was to put him in some similar dress, some civilian dress. But who am I? I'm just saying. You're coming from jail, and then the lady, one of the aunties, or it could be one of the gossiping external family members, is like, well, I didn't know they still did that, like letting people out for a funeral. And she was like, well, it's his mama too. And it's like, first of all, I'm against the prison industrial system. I feel that if you did not do a nonviolent crime, you shouldn't be in jail, because it only further criminalizes people. It does not, like, jail never made nobody better. So if you didn't do something violent, then we shouldn't really take you off the streets like that. There's a lot of other things we could do. But anyway, these people, they're clearly having some sort of issue or some judgment with him getting out of jail. But it's like, isn't that the most humane thing to do if you lost a close relative? Like, I'm not saying your best friend from high school or, you know, so your next door neighbor. But if your mom, your grandma, or your parents, your siblings die, like, the most humane thing to do is to let them at least come to the funeral, be with the family. They already in jail. Like, let's not do too much. But then it's like they're kind of lingering on the opposite side of the room. Like, he's looking at Drea looking at him, but there's no contact. And I'm assuming at this point that was her brother, right? Because when she said it's his mama too. And then when the lady tried to give her the urn, I'm assuming that the urn was her mom. I don't have a lot of details at this point. It's a short film, and we're going in and out with the sound because our main character is deaf. So we're seeing everything, hearing everything through her perspective, which is cool, but I'm missing context clues on some of this. I'm gathering it. So she did ask the auntie when she came into that room and tried to give her the urn, like, oh, are the cousins coming? And she was like, oh yeah, they'll be here, which is like clutch. You know, as a black youth, all you got in these family situations are the cousins, because the old people will not hesitate to get on your nerve and talk trash and gossip, just like they was doing about the jail homie. They doing the same thing about you. And at a certain point, she does walk into the kitchen, and two of the aunties are gossiping about her behind her back, talking about, oh yeah, she came dressed like that, wearing a suit. And you know, Muriel used to let her dress like that, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, girl, in the year of our Lord 2026, you don't know what a stem is. You don't know what the black lesbians look like. You don't know how they're giving it up. The only person that should be having a problem with this, if you believe, is Jesus Christ. You should not be judging this child of God on her they them status and how she want to present to the world. If she don't want to come, well, she could at least wear a dress. For what? The mama is dead in the casket. And if the mama was letting her dress how she wanted to dress, who is she wearing a dress for? Y'all? I think not. Stay out of their business. So the cousins do in fact show up, and I love how it cut from the family scene on the inside in the repast to we outside on the smoke break, because that's a black family tradition. Thanksgiving, Christmas, repast, wedding, whatever's going on, the older cousins that do partake, we will hit that parking lot, hit that corner and go smoke, because we're already overwhelmed, overstimulated, being surrounded by all of this family and all this family activity. It's a lot. It's a lot for a chill person like myself. So I'm definitely going to hit that car, hit that hot box before I resume this activity that I kind of just don't want to be a part of. I'm only here off the love. But my nerves, my nervous system, I've had it. I don't want to do it. So they're outside there. And then these are some more people that are talking fast, that are turning their heads, this and that. So our girl Drea can't really fully engage in the conversation. She's picking up bits and pieces. So when it gets passed to her, she holds it and she keeps it. And that's the pick that I would like to insert in. And they was like, Drea. Nobody noticed her not engaging in the conversation until it was time to pass that joint. You see how they do? Stay dangerous, ladies. But yes, and please don't be mad at me for putting this picture in. I swear I did not voice record, film record, nothing. I just want to show them this is the scene. Everybody has felt this way. You just in the smoke session and your mind is on everything else. So then we take it back inside, and she tries to pull her aunt, the main aunt. I think her name was like Carla, something like that. She tries to pull the main aunt aside in the kitchen to speak to her. And she's like, oh, let me go get, and they're like, no, I'm just trying to talk to you. She was trying to get the prisoner, the visiting prisoner. And so then when the aunt realized, oh, well, then okay, then talk to me. Like, girl, Face me, first of all, so I can read your lips. You're getting on my nerve. And it's bordering disrespect at this point. Keep turning your head. So she's telling her, essentially, I'm in school. I only got 1 year left. And the lady keeps interrupting her. That would piss me off, and I can speak in here, fine. But I'm deaf, and you're interrupting me a lot. It's like, please, 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 please. So when she finally gets a word in edgewise, she's essentially telling her, or trying to say what she doesn't even really get to ask, like, I have 1 year left. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then she just, oh my God. And if you had got a more, marketable skill like nursing or something like that, then maybe we could consider it. But poetry is not a good investment because that's our girl's major. First of all, college ain't no good investment. Okay, it's all a gamble. It's a pay to play scheme. You come here, you learn some stuff that perhaps a job might think that you are cool or responsible or you had enough stick-to-itiveness to get this degree. You're going to go to the job and they'll give you on-the-job training anyway. So I don't like it when people try to trash what degree you may have. There are worthless college degrees, but the bulk of them are worthless. If you're not going to be a doctor, a lawyer, something that requires one of those licenses, then college is like, it's an experience. You're really going for the vibes and to gain some more knowledge or what have you, but it's none of it, what they're showing you in college is very job specific. I'm not a hater. I would never tell people don't go to college, but if you do not have a set plan of what you plan to do after, then you should probably just go get a job and move around and figure out what you want to do. And if those things, what degree that job that you really want takes, and then get to know some people and hobnob, maybe even get a job at that place you want to work at, lower tier, so you can move up the ranks, because it's sloppy out here for everybody. And that's why I didn't like the judgment that she gave her. So at a certain point, she's going on her rant and she was like, I would hate to ask you. She's like, but you did, and it's like Black people, it always comes down to poverty core. Like, we don't really have enough money to do all of the things and to support ourselves the way that we would want to. So when somebody comes to you with a problem or they need help, it's like you automatically blow up or you get a bad reception to it because they're already like struggling. So it's not that they don't love you, it's not that they don't care about you. It's like they already got too much going on. They're barely making it themselves, or at least that's how they like to put it. So you coming with another burden is like, you're being irritating, but the whole situation is irritating. That's why we're here. So yeah, after she hates on her dream and basically tells her if she was more responsible or practical like one of her other cousins, then maybe they would consider helping, but they're not gonna help her. So it's like only so much you want to hear of that. And if you're not really in the situation to argue or fight back, what can you do? You concede. So our girl pulls the hearing aids out because I'm done hearing this. And in that scene, in that moment, I was like, oh, that is like a flip phone close. Like, Auntie Tia, she be closing that flip phone. I'm like, shut up, I'm done. That's what snatching the hearing aids out is. It's like, I'm over it. So then she gives her a hug, and it's like, why are you going to hug me after you already told me you're not going to help me? This is to make you feel better. I do not want a hug. So our girl is standing there, dead arm, just getting this involuntary hug from her low-key rude aunt. But what else can we do? So throughout this whole short film, she has done a great time opposing walls, staying away from our criminal visitor, our jail visitor. I'm thinking that it's her brother from the gossip and the hear what I can hear here and there. But it turns out that it's her daddy. And they're in a room because the funeral, she's tired. They do an electric slide and some more shit. She's over it. She goes into what I assumed was her mom's room, but it turns out that it was her grandma. Because when our jail visitor comes in, she was playing some music. And it was a very cute room. It was clearly like where the deceased person liked to vibe, paint, do their thing. And she put on a record, and it was God Bless the Child That Has Their Own. Poetry slams for that. A Black American hit. So then that music, I guess, summons our jail visitor, and he comes into the room. And that's where we find out that this is her dad and that the grandma actually passed away. And as because my grandma was the baby. Like, my grandma took care of me. So as a grandma's girl, it was like, ooh, that hurt me a little bit. Hit me right in my heart. Because I know when my grandma is finally no longer with us, I'm not going to be no good. I'm going to lose it. So that really hit close to home. And then your daddy is in jail, so you really got nobody now, essentially. But the dad, he does do something good with his visit. Because we don't know when we might see this man again. We don't even know how much time he got. They didn't tell us. But she's explaining her situation with the college and all of this. Or not really. She starts off with like, I can't really hear the music, but I always love the vibrations and the lyrics. And that's what drove me to writing poetry. Because I guess her grandma would play these records all the time. She had like a little collection in this area. And her and the dad kind of bond over that. And she's like, but I don't even got no money to finish school, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I probably should just give it up. And then the dad gives her the most, oh my God, wrap you up in your favorite blanket speech. And it was so beautiful and so simple. It wasn't over the top. He wasn't making any false promises or anything like that. But he was just like, basically, she's all he has now. And if the poetry is what gets her going, then that's what gets him going. And he can't let her take away the only reason that he has to live at this point, especially if they're gonna take me back to the slammer after this. And I felt like that was so, I don't know, poignant and sweet. And then they close the film in a warm embrace, and it almost brings a tear to the eye. Like, oh my goodness. So we're doing representation for our deaf population, and we're also doing representation for the people that have an incarcerated parent, which we also don't get a lot of, like, untrauma porn content about. So for me, this film, Them That's Not, is definitely a 10. And I would recommend it to a bunch of people. It's a quick watch. It's less than 20 minutes. I would love to see a feature-length film from this director, Mekhai Lee, because this level of storytelling and how it was shot, even at the beginning when they're like doing the gossip of the aunties in the galley kitchen, and how that shot is very cool. And then we come back to that area throughout the film, like that's also where the conversation between Drea and the auntie happened. So I love it. I love the framing. I love the narrative. I love how they used sound to kind of put us in Drea's shoes and make us relate to our main character. So I'm very excited to see what else Mekhai Lee may have to offer us. Thank you so much for allowing me to scream your film, Them That's Not. It's everywhere right now at South by Southwest. So if you're out there, make sure you go watch it. I'm not sure where this will be available online, but if it is, I will update the link in the bio for this. Thank you so much for coming to Monday Movie Night with Tam. This is one of my first ones. I used to do my movie content like all disorganized, but now we have a day, we have a logo, we're very professional. So get into it and let me know in the comments if you would like me to review any movies or films that you may have produced, starred in, or just your favorite show, because this is a community and I want to build with you guys. I want to watch stuff and I want to talk about it. Let me know what you guys think about the narrative that I gave you from Them That's Not. Does it sound interesting? Would you want to watch it? And I'll see y'all next Monday. I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.